Hi everyone, welcome to Let's Celebrate TV Live. I'm your host, Peter Lee. Now with me today, as always, there's that one person here who wears a lot of hats. He's a producer, director, IT guy, lighting technician, and the most important hat is that of my husband. It's Phil Gordimer.
And good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you're watching us from or in replay. It's been a wet weekend. We just got home a little while ago and we're still drying out.
So we're not having a cocktail today. We're going out to a fancy dinner tonight, so we're just going to have a little wine. This is a Cabernet Franc from Lieb Cellars out on Long Island, one of our favorite places in the world. Okay, I was going to ask if you want me to deliver, but here you are.
Doesn't that look so snobbish when
Right,
you do that?
Right.
What's for dinner, Dad?
We're having Fettuccine Alfredo.
Yay!
But first, I have a PSA, which stands for Public Service Announcement. Some people are asking me, what's a PSA? I go, okay, thought everyone knew that. So I want to give a special shout out to our friends Lance and Ken. I don't know if they're watching yet or not. You know, we just surpassed 1 million views. What are we up to? Like
1,300,000.
Yeah. And we are over 8,000 subscribers now, so we've had a lot of milestones. So as they know that I love Lydia Bastianich, and she was doing a book signing, so they arranged this. And it says, to Peter, much success on your LCTV cooking show and making 1 million views, Lydia Bastianich. So it's a wonderful thing. They know that I love Lydia. She's a great inspiration. So thank you, Lance and Ken. Thank you again. That's my PSA. But that's also where we started drawing some inspiration. Lydia Bastianich, we were watching her a few nights ago, and she did a pasta dish, and we said, actually a couple weeks ago.
And then we got this comment a few days ago that said,
your video on making fresh pasta convinced me to buy a pasta cutter for my stand mixer. I make pasta regularly now, so that's great. So let's talk about Fettuccine Alfredo. Probably, you probably know Fettuccine Alfredo from a jar and some dried fettuccine. And this is all fine, but you might do this. Maybe there's something worse. If you grew up in the 70s and 80s like I did, this might have been a staple in your mother's kitchen. Alfredo from a packet. Yeah. And we ate these for years because they're quick and easy, and I thought, I know how to cook. I know how to do this. Why? So we stopped eating these. And these. This stays around. Let's get rid of all of this.
the guys from Pepper Tree are in. They said, Lydia, we've got quite a few of her books in the library.
Yeah. We today are going to start by making the pasta from scratch. Why? Why, Pete? Why are you doing that? Well, we've done it before. It's fun. I just want to remind people how easy it is. Pasta starts with our flours. Let me grab. Okay, I've got two here today that I like to use. This is 00 flour. It doesn't have to be organic. That's just what I can get. The 00 is extra fine, very light. It really makes your pasta very lighter and silkier. Then I use a combination of that with semolina flour. Now, semolina is made from durum wheat, which is a harder wheat than other types, like that would be from this. And this is a finely ground semolina. There are some that are more coarse, but even this is a little more coarse than the 00. So I like the combination. I find this finely ground one just comes together easier and makes a more delicate pasta. So that's my commercial on flour. So let's get cooking.
Hold on. So Hank says back in 2015, I had the famous Fettuccine Alfredo at Alfredo di Scrofa in Rome as in 1914. And it was an experience. And the reality is...
Okay, so that's what we're going to try and recreate today.
And some of our research, that's about the only place you can get it. It's not really... Fettuccine Alfredo in Italy is really not a thing. It's actually just fettuccine.
Has other names, but
has other names.
Not, yeah.
And that's because most of the Italians don't like the fact it has his own name on it.
All right. Let me get cooking. Oh, look, it's 4 o'clock. See, dear? I let you talk on camera once. All right, so this is a cup of the 00 flour. And, you know, we can put up the recipe to the pasta episode, which has all the metrics and all of that too. Here is a cup of the semolina flour. And some salt. I think this is half a teaspoon. What I like to do at this point, just get in there, mix it up, bring it together. It doesn't have to be perfectly mixed, but this will just help distribute it. All right, let's bring this up. Now, if you don't like getting your hands dirty, this is probably not the job for you, but try it. It's so much fun. I'm going to make a little well, actually a pretty wide well in this. Sometimes you can use your measuring cup so it's even, but I didn't do that today.
And here is a link to the original video on how to make fresh pasta. It's also in the show notes for YouTube.
Okay. Necessity is the mother of invention. To this, we're going to add some eggs. I have here 3 extra large eggs. If these were large, you could use 4. I find with the extra large, 3 is fine.
And Andrea's in.
Hi, Andrea. And then I have generous tablespoon, maybe a tablespoon and a half-ish of some very good extra virgin olive oil. Moisture and flavor. And I kind of feel like, yeah, use the extra virgin. It has more flavor in it. Okay, I'm going to take my little fork and break these up. And I'm going to start whisking kind of vigorously. So what's happening already is the motion of the eggs is pulling the flour in from around the circle. And as you mix these up, it will just start coming together. Now don't worry if one of your walls breaks. It's okay. Just reinforce it. Don't panic. When we first started, before we did the pasta episode and the pasta live stream, I hadn't made fresh pasta in 100 years, so I had to practice a lot. And first couple times I thought, I know what I'm doing. And no, I had egg and flour everywhere.
And Annie's from Annie's Smoking Pot is in. And
hi, Annie.
We'll be talking about her a little later on in our small channel. And thanks to Viola for recommending I take a look at her.
What did Viola say? I missed all that.
Oh, she said, hopping in real quick, I'm glad Phil and Pete took my great suggestion, and we're featuring Annie from Smoking Pot. You can see how awesome she is on our channel.
Mm-hmm. All right, as this is coming together, we're just going to start adding some of the flour.
All right, don't look up. I'll just read it to you.
Okay.
But John says, do you have a favorite brand of dried pasta?
Yes, I like, there's 2 I go back and forth. There's Colavita, and I think the other one is Anna. I'll use Barilla sometimes, but really the Colavita is my first choice. And this is kind of fun. Remember making mud pies as a kid? I know, there are some Italian grannies out there who do this with their fingertips. I'm not quite that clever. I like a fork. What else you got, dear? Anything? Because this is the
Hold on.
slow part.
Okay, Ken is in.
Oh, hi, Ken. Hey, coming to you live somewhere here on the
LIE
Long Island Expressway. Yeah. Well, good, Ken.
Let's see who else we got. Oh, David's in.
Which David?
From
hi,
camp.
David. Good to see you.
And let's see, we got the pepper tree. We got Suzanne.
Hi,
and yes, Suzanne, yes, I don't have to enter them manually. The map program, when it's working well, reads the comments and fills in the map. Sometimes it does it in the background. Sometimes I have to bring it up. It's a work in progress. It was written by a bunch of people, so we're always still improving it. But it's kind of cool to see where everybody's from.
Yep.
And of course, we have to get our weather report from Hank.
Yes, what does he say?
It says it's overcast monsoon with a 102-degree day.
Ugh.
And along that same lines, hold on, I know I saw one here from Pepper Tree. Here we go. Yeah, the Pepper Tree guys, age 90, and they're in for 7 days of triple digit. So you and Hank, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, so you'll see this is getting thicker and pastier. And this is where you can get a little aggressive with it and start adding in more flour. Because if your wall breaks, you're going to be able to reinforce it pretty quickly.
All right. Annie says, do you prefer white or red sauces in your pasta?
You know, I go back and forth. It really depends on my mood. All right, at this point, it's getting pretty thick. I should probably go a little longer, but, you know. I'm going to take my bench scraper, and we're just going to start bringing this in on top of itself. Bring it in. Don't worry if it looks like it's leaking all over the place. It will come together.
And Chatty B's in.
Oh, hi.
Happy last day of Pride Month.
Hi, Rainbow. Yes, I know.
Yeah, the chat software doesn't get a lot of the YouTube ones because they're specific to YouTube.
But what was the meme I saw today on Facebook? Tomorrow, if Cher sees her shadow, we get 6 more weeks of Pride. All right, so you'll see I'm rushing and I'm scattering this all over, but it's coming together. Use your bench scraper as the tool it's meant to be. Bring it all in. And I know Nona and Uncle Nunzio would do this one-handed, I know, while drinking a bottle of Chianti. But that's okay. Now at this point, you can start to bring this together. What I'm going to do, I have a little extra of that 00 flour to dust the board if I need it. So we're going to bring this together. And I know you're like, Pete, it's awful loose. What's going on? It's mushy. Watch, be patient. Just start moving it around. And all of a sudden, it comes together as a dough.
Kathy says, I used to go to an Italian restaurant where they made fettuccine Alfredo right at the table.
Yep, that was a thing. And that's how I think when the guy who invented it did that too in his original restaurant. Well, that's what Hank was saying. Right, let's put a little flour down and start kneading this.
All right, and while you're kneading that, let me bring in Alfredo.
I will say, don't worry, if your hands look like this, it all comes together. Trust me. So what are you going to do, dear?
So let me give you a little bit of trivia while you're doing that. In the 1920s, Hollywood stars Douglas Fairbanks and Mary Pickford came to Rome on their honeymoon. After tasting the dish and falling in love with its simplicity, they asked DiLilio for the recipe, which he gave them. To express their gratitude, the couple sent him a set of gold and silverware engraved with the words, "To Alfredo, the King of Noodles."
And that was funny because in those days, Douglas Fairbanks, and that's senior, not junior, he was known as the King of Hollywood. Now, we're just going to knead this. You want to knead it for good 10 minutes. Flouring your board whenever it starts to stick. Now, it starts out pretty wet like this, and you're going to get worried that you did something wrong. Keep kneading. You're developing the glutens. What?
You need to look up and read with this one, though.
I feel the same way. I also tell my hubby it is Andrea's way. Yes. It's like, just trust me.
Viola likes the dough.
Good. Thank you, Viola.
All right, we got another one while you're doing that. What's your opinion on a whole wheat pasta or the many flavored, I guess, spinach pastas?
Okay. Or like spinach. Yeah, I do have some opinions, actually. I'm not a big fan of whole wheat pasta. I just don't care for the texture. I'll get it once in a while, just as a change of pace, but it's just not my favorite thing. The other flavored ones I get sometimes, like we'll get the tricolor ones, or sometimes we'll get like spinach fettuccine. Again, not my favorite. Sometimes they can be a little strong, but once in a while, they're kind of nice to have.
How about explaining how you're kneading that?
Okay, so like you do a biscuit or anything else, I'm just pushing it, folding it back, rotating it, pushing it, fold it over, rotate it. And this is developing the glutens. Now already this is becoming smoother, more elastic. As you go on, it gets a little harder to knead. Now I'm not going to do this for the whole 10 minutes because I think at this point you get the idea. Thank you. Okay.
I'm a useful sous chef once in a while.
All right, he's turning my water on. All right, so let me clear this up. And what did we call it? Oh, thanks for everyone coming to the party bowl.
Yeah, from Amberell.
Yes. Now I will continue with this later. So don't get upset that I'm wasting food or something. Not at all. Okay.
And just a reminder for everybody, if you get a chance, tell us where you're watching us from. If you're uncomfortable giving your city and state, just say your state. It's okay. We like to build a map to see where our people are coming from. Because we do have, besides the US, a Canadian audience. We have a large UK audience, but they're usually not live. But it's kind of fun.
Rinse off my little hands.
Yeah, he does make, yes, and he does make it look easy, but I'll tell you, when we did the original video last year, he made pasta every night for 2 weeks.
Yep. Sometimes multiple
Sometimes
batches.
multiple, but he got the feel of it. So now, he hadn't made it in like 3 months. We were at our campground over the weekend, and it was pouring with rain.
Yeah.
For 2.5 days. So he said, I'm going to just make pasta.
I make pasta.
And it's our kitchen at our campground is outside. So it made a nice, moist pasta.
Yeah, I was concerned about the rain, that it would be too moist, but it really wasn't an issue. Okay, so let's get rid of that. We're going to cut some pasta next. After a sip of wine. Yeah. So I'm going to bring over my KitchenAid stand mixer with my pasta attachment. Now, if I can find the plug. There we go.
And in the description of the notes is, in fact, this little pasta cutter that's there. Hold on. That one?
That one.
We have tried a bunch of them.
Yes.
And KitchenAid's $300 one is useless. This one is under $100. It works really well. For those who would really like to do it in the most Italian way, here is a link to a manual one.
I don't know that I would say the KitchenAid one was useless in case they're watching. It just didn't work for us, dear.
No, it did not work at all.
But, you know, if they're watching and they wanted to send me one to try again, I wouldn't say no.
Yeah, you want a KitchenAid sponsor, huh?
Look, you don't ask, you don't get, right?
And
All right.
Robin are in.
Oh, hi, guys. Yay.
What do we got? Oh, we got 26 people.
Wow.
Between the two in chat. Let me just see what the mix is. We only have 2 on Facebook. Everyone else is on YouTube.
All right. So, I made a pasta dough earlier.
How old is that now?
I don't know.
Maybe 3 hours?
Maybe. So generally, you would knead it for 10 minutes till it's all like this. You wrap it up, you let it rest for at least 30 minutes. But you could make it up to 12, let it rest up to 12 hours in the fridge. Now this was just a couple hours, so I left it on the counter. But so this is, I push on it, it comes back. And let's not throw that out, I'm gonna need that. Let's just cut this into 4 pieces.
Oops, wrong screen. Hang on, there you go.
There we go.
Too many buttons.
I know. We'll put these guys over here. Keep them moist. Now I'm going to set this all the way down to 0, my roller. I'm going to smush this out.
And the guys at Pepper Tree says they have a manual one with all the attachments and different shapes and sizes.
I used to, and I don't know what happened to it. Probably in the Great Purge when we moved. Because you said we probably said, you haven't used this, and yeah, throw it out. All right, on speed number 2. If I've led a good life, this is going to go through nice and easily. If I haven't led a good life, though, we have the box of dried pasta to cook. All right, so I put it through once, fold it over, put it through. I'm gonna do that one more time. Some people may say, no, you need to do that 10 times. I find this is sufficient. What a pretty dough you are. Now we're going to start making the rollers more narrow. We're going to go to number 1. Don't be afraid to put a little extra flour on it. It's not going to dry it out. It's just going to help it go through the rollers. Now these first few times, I like to go through these twice. Once this way, and then one this way, and I find it just helps even it out the first like 2 or 3 times.
And she says she has an old school pasta maker, hand crank, and that's what we started with.
Yep. Number 2.
I'll turn down your water since it's boiling and your
Yes,
hands
please.
your hands are dusty.
Yes. Let's go number 3. At this point, I'm just going to put this through once each time. And you see it's
Sandy says, my
longer.
mom used to have pasta parties. She'd make 3 types of pastas and guests would bring over different sauces, meats, and toppings.
Oh, I love that. We need to do that. 10 acres pasta party, or maybe that's what the Hillside Heights party should be this year. Dinner.
That might be fun.
Right? All right. Number 4. Let's get nice and long. And one more. We like our fettuccine a little thinner than probably most people. So I'm going to go all the way down to number 5.
Oops.
Come on. Oops. Little wrinkle there. Oh well. Never mind. Beautiful. Look at that. And that's the other thing. You know, when you're doing stuff like this, if you get a little tear, if it wrinkles, it's okay. Now, let's cut it. Come on.
The Pepper Tree boys agree that they should do a pasta party.
Yeah.
Hey, I wonder if we could do an online pasta party.
Look at that. Look at that. I've got fettuccine.
You know, that would be cool. I could set up a screen of about 6 or 8 other small channels,
All right.
and we could all have a pasta party. Everyone show one pasta with something. Ooh, I think I need to do some organizing.
Now I'm going to dust this heavily with flour so it doesn't stick together. I'm going to put it aside.
I bet you in the kitchen, Karen would be in on that too.
How are we doing on time? Do I have time to do the other
Yeah.
3 pieces?
So we'll push the segment a little bit. Yeah, actually, the guys at Pepper Tree say we can all make the pasta simultaneously.
Yeah.
I think we need to set up a group and talk about this.
All right.
The Pepper Tree guys have the ability to do it also because they use StreamYard, but we could do it from the hardware side too.
Make it so.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
I still want to do one in person here.
All right, while you're doing that, we've got, does getting the real Parmigiano Reggiano really make a difference in taste?
Yes, it does. And you don't even want to get the kind that's pre-grated. You want to get a chunk of it, which you can find in most good grocery stores. It's a little more expensive, but it is worth it. And the reason is the pre-ground ones have cellulose in them to keep them from clumping together. And see, I'm talking and reading that. I messed up. I didn't fold it over 3 times, but oh well. So yeah, you want to get the real stuff.
Yeah, the guys
cellulose in it would make it a gritty sauce.
Yeah, so the guys use Zcam, so that means they're on apples because Zcam only works on Apple. A lot of good beginning software for people who want to do multicam is Ecamm or Live StreamYard. We have the hardware ability to do it, so we do it all in hardware, just because we're masochists.
Yeah.
And we've got a full studio here that we can play with. Yep, and they get the real cheese from Costco. We actually have, where I work in Hamilton, New Jersey, which is otherwise known as the blueberry capital of the world, it's the largest first-generation enclave of Italians.
Italian-American.
Italian-Americans. And there is an amazing shop called Bagliani's. And every year they buy a 500-pound piece of Parmigiano Reggiano.
The real stuff.
The real stuff. They have a party in that they get the police and you drive up, you're through the parking lot, you tell them how big of a piece you want, they cut it and wrap it and give it to you in your car, and in one night they go through 500 pounds.
Don't they do that at Christmas? Because they do a Christmas party too. It's fun.
Yeah.
All right.
Ooh, that's a tough one. They grate it in their Vitamix, the $500 cheese grater.
Oh, my goodness.
All right, Kyle says he could get in and make fresh pasta, but he's a single guy, so he'd never eat it all.
So here's what you do, Kyle. 4 pieces. Here's a portion. So this will be 4 portions. You can freeze this. Put it in a Ziploc bag, each portion. Pop it in the freezer, and then cook it whenever you want. All right, back to 0. This will be the last one. Because all of a sudden, like it's only 4 o'clock now, but all of a sudden it's going to be 4:30. And
Yep. So you can start cooking that while I'll do our segment.
let me get this last one done. This one I'll remember to fold over.
And he says she likes the cheese slush in a Costco, also goes to Trader Joe's.
We don't really go to Costco. We have.
It's not our thing.
Yeah.
We're much happier at either Sam's or BJ's. Okay, Annie's got a good question here. Why do you fold it over 3 times in the beginning?
It just helps it come together. It's one extra last little need. There's probably some other scientific reasons that escape me at the moment.
I'll
But,
give it to you.
Yeah.
It's called lamination.
Thank you.
Each time you fold it over, it creates another layer. So if you kept folding it and folding it, it gives it some structure.
Right.
If you don't fold it in the beginning, then it tends to go all over in the shape. And this gives you a chance to get it pretty straight before you do it. The more times you laminate it, actually, the better it is, but it is a lot of work. It's sort of agreed on that 3 or 4 folds in the first couple of presses make the difference.
Thank you, dear. I did know that, and it just went away. You know how that happens. All right. Almost there. Oh, no.
You got one more?
This is number 4.
And bubble, bubble, toil and trouble. The hot
Yes.
water is ready.
Number 5.
Yep, the guys agree with us. Laminations makes a big difference in the structure. I'm not sure about this. It helps getting ragged when boiling. I'm not quite sure what that means.
Because you get the nice edge on it.
Okay. Notice how it pulled away when you did that?
No, I wasn't looking.
Okay. It's the gluten's pulling it apart.
Oh, that, yeah. I thought you meant the way... I didn't really hear what you said over the machine. And that's exactly right. That is the gluten's springing it away. let's turn this light off.
Ooh, I can hear myself now.
Right?
Now, do I
Look,
drink water?
I will say, dear, that this was your idea to make fresh pasta.
I know.
So, you know.
Well, our viewers are complaining that you're not cooking much anymore on air. So I said, what better way? And the fact it was raining at camp this weekend, you had time to get some more practice in.
Yeah.
I guess we'll be eating a lot of pasta the next few days.
Pretty much. So, this here. Ugh. Nice salted water. Nice boiling water. Gonna add healthy amount of salt. Everyone into the pool. Now, fresh pasta takes a lot less time to cook. And normally, when you cook pasta, you do it in like 4 or 5, 6 quarts of water. This is just around 3 quarts. And the reason I did that is I want to get extra starchy water. That's going to be key to our sauce.
All right, so while you do that, let me get ready. And let's do our favorite segment. All right, as most of you know, we are big champions of small YouTube channels, and thank you for everyone who's recommended them. So today I want to introduce you to Annie of Annie's Smoking Pot, and which is kind of fun. I love the name. And Annie's been doing it for a while. Let's see if we can get this up. Here we go. So she lives in a 288 square foot tiny home. As a matter of fact, Annie, your trailer looks exactly like one or two of them that we've owned before. It's kind of fun. And in 2022, she started making videos. And as you can see, she's up to about 1,600 subscribers with 171 videos. Now, I wish we kind of knew her a month and a half ago when we were doing our segment on unusual sandwiches, because for this month, she was doing a mashup with other channels on hamburgers. So she did a cordon bleu one right here, an amazing reveal. I am very impressed with the camera work and editing. Good job. Great job. She also has a very active Facebook page.
Yep.
And she has a, I've just lost Instagram. Sorry about that. And sadly, she's got 4 fractures in her foot, so she's had to have a little pink cast, but her family is decorating it. So jump into her video. She's got a lot of really, really good stuff. If you want to have a little fun, you can start out with the smash burger with a secret. I'll tell you the secret. It's a peanut butter and jelly hamburger. So, remember, jump over, see a video. Hit the subscribe button, that would help. But even more importantly, hit the like button and leave a comment. Small YouTube channels have the advantage that big ones don't, is that they can answer every message. And YouTube likes it when creators interact with their audience. So go check out Annie and go.
Just about done. Seconds away from being done. So, because of carryover cooking, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this pasta water. It's very starchy already. I'm going to need about a cup of it.
And our friends Joe and Peggy are in.
Oh, hi guys.
We were talking about them this weekend.
Well, yeah, because Joe and Peggy, we still have wine for you that we can...
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So we need to get together so we can get you your wine. All right, that's about a cup. Okay, let me go drain this really quickly.
And while you're doing that, I'll work on the map.
Well, there you go.
But first, before I do that, let me post the link to Annie's channel. It is already in the YouTube description and in the Facebook description. And yes, Annie, welcome. If we can help any way, shape, or form, I don't know what you edit with. I'm a master of Premiere Pro. and I do a lot with audio, but I love seeing what people can do, and great job. All right, so let's go to kind of see.
Okay,
Whoops.
hold on, because I'm coming back, and this is going to go fast.
Oh, okay.
So here we are. I've drained it, not completely dry, but I got, most of it out. I'm going to put this back on the heat very, very low. As low as I can get it on this little burner. Now, there's only a few ingredients. Actually, before I do that, let me talk about one of them. I've got pasta water, I've got butter, the pasta, and the Parmigiano Reggiano. This is probably 4 or 5 ounces. And I got this whole technique from America's Test Kitchen. So if any keyboard warriors out there, see, disclaimer. Anyway, this is real Parmigiano Reggiano, and that's how you can tell. Not just ones that say Parmesan. It says Parmigiano, it says it's printed. And this thick part here is not the best for eating, but if you cut this rind off, you can put it in soups and stews, and it kind of melts its magic and it adds this wonderful flavor.
Okay, so let's talk about what's missing.
There's no cream. There's no cream cheese. The only dairy is the butter. So, low heat. And everything in the pool at once. Pasta water. This is, 5, 6 tablespoons of butter that I just cut up. Unsalted. And you see this cheese I grated on my microplaner to get a nice finely ground. That's why you don't want to use the pre-ground, because it has cellulose, which is a stabilizer and it keeps it from clumping, but it can make your sauce kind of gritty. So now we mixy. And we're just going to mix this up for about a minute or until everything is combined.
So let me give you a little history about the difference between the real Alfredo and the American version. According to an Italian-American cookbook by John Marini in the 60s, since American butter and Parmesan cheese lacked the richness of their Italian counterparts, cream was added to the sauce to compensate. This version became known as the Italian-American classic. Although popular in the United States, it has never taken root in Italy.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to stir this vigorously over low heat. That's going to help everything melt. This is coming out a little looser.
So put the cover on so it can absorb some?
Well, we'll get there, dear. This is coming out a little looser than I would have liked. I probably used a little too much pasta water, but that's okay. Now,
more cheese.
Well, yeah, you can add more cheese, but you really just need to cover this. Cut the heat. Turn it way down. Let it just sit and hang out, and that's going to help that pasta start absorbing that sauce, and it'll thicken up.
All right, so while that's doing that, let's bring up the map and see where everybody is. All right, so we have your hosts here in Sewell, New Jersey, which is right near Philadelphia. We got Suzanne as a regular from the Florida Space Coast. We got Hank from Phoenix. Hey, the map got Hank finally.
Finally.
We got Annie from Seacrum, Washington. Oh, yeah, it's way up there. And we got the Pepper Tree Villa guys. We have David in Scranton. We got Wayne and Andrea in Nevada. Viola from Central California. We got the Pepper Tree guys from Contra. Ooh, it did catch them. Cool.
Oh.
My software is getting better. We have Robin for Hatboro. I did not get one, but that's Hatboro, Pennsylvania. And Joe and Peggy are also in Eastern Pennsylvania.
Excellent.
So it's a pretty good mix today.
Yeah.
We don't have our 2 Canadian friends in,
Oh.
but I'm sure when our UK audience sees this later tonight, we should get a whole bunch more. But you can kind of see it's really cool that we get people from all over. Oh, I know who's missing from this. Melissa from Michigan.
Oh, yeah.
You've seen her for a couple of weeks.
Yeah. So I'm just getting a little more to put on at the end. It is a little loose.
Yes, thank you. We do try to research as much as possible because we don't profess to be the experts. And like anything else, cooking is all about opinions. so we like to make sure there's some real fact there.
So I'm sure I'm going to catch hell because that's too you blah blah blah. That's too thin. You should have put cream in. Whatever. Whatevs. Miguel.
Always add more cheese.
Well, and I may. I have some extra to put on. Generally, you don't need extra cheese, but today maybe.
All right, so Melissa says the best, this is a different Melissa, the best thing I ever learned about pasta recipes was saving a cup of the pasta water.
And I happen to know from some of the restaurants that I've worked in as a cook, when there's pasta on the menu as a regular thing, there's always somewhere in the kitchen some pasta water sitting on a back burner somewhere because that starchy water makes sauces silky, and if something's a little thin, you can add that in and it helps thicken it up. It's kind of one of those chefy things. It's secrets.
Oh, now I just remembered why we're talking about Joe and Peggy. Joe's always asking us for an Alfredo recipe.
He is?
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
okay.
he says he's never had any that he liked.
Okay. Well, Joe and Peggy, next time you're over, I'll make this. Just I won't make it so loose like this one is, but
Just add more cheese.
and I will say, Jiminy Crickets, it's not the answer, dear. If you don't want to make fresh pasta, you can use dried. Absolutely. And I think this was a question someone sent in. Oh, okay, yeah, you could add other flavors, but I don't like to. I'm a purist. I like to make this a few times, have it once in a while, maybe a little garlic or something else, maybe some spice, but things like this I like.
Ooh, this one hurts my soul.
What? Yeah, well, how about cream cheese? Yeah. It might, but it would change the flavor.
Let me put that back up there to make sure everybody really saw that.
Cream cheese. No, there are recipes out there, dear. When I was looking this up and just general Googling recipes, there are recipes that you make with bechamel, like you do with mac and cheese. There are recipes that use blocks of cream cheese because that's like the equivalent of Velveeta. And yeah.
So, Mike, now you've seen how simple it is. It's really only 4 ingredients. Try it. Yeah, get some dried pasta. Get yourself some butter and Reggiano and make it.
How is this looking? Okay, it's thickening up. It's a little too much pasta water in there, but that's okay. I'll forgive myself this once. We'll add in this last little bit of cheese. Since I'll never hear the end of it from my husband if I don't add more cheese.
Oh, come on.
Would you like a little plate? Because we haven't eaten since 6
We have not.
We were up and out early today so we can get home for this. And then, as I said, right afterwards, we have to get changed and we're going to a dress-up affair tonight.
Yeah, our campground that we stay at on the weekends is 180 miles away in very northeast Pennsylvania.
And you see some of this cheese has climbed up the tongs, and that's okay.
Oh, there, that looks much
Frankly,
better.
I'd like to be these tongs. Yeah, I can see it's still a little looser than I would like, but that's okay. It was my mistake. I put in a little more pasta water than I should have. I think I measured a little more than a cup, but oh well.
So I like this comment, Andy, about being in a tiny home with a single burner. We filmed some episodes
in our
travel trailer.
Yep. The same way.
It's almost the same layout as yours with that L there. And I literally had a camera with the door propped open with the camera going front, and then one of the slides on the bedroom door, opening that with the camera the other way. So, yeah, we know that struggle.
Yeah, but that was always my challenge when we were taking our travel trailer and our pop-ups, and we had pop-ups. Or even when we were tenters, when we go camping, I would always, because I'm a masochist, what can I cook camping on a little 2-burner stove that I can make at home? What can I recreate? I don't want to eat just hot dogs and hamburgers all weekend.
All right, we don't have a convert here.
I'm not sure about this. I always was taught to use Fettuccine Alfredo. So that is an Italian-American thing. Yeah, and that's fine. Okay, yeah, this is, and just sitting here, it's thickening. I'm going to give you half that size.
Yeah, don't need that much. I still got to push buttons over here.
Well, and we're going out to dinner, so, and you and your appetite lately, but still. Can you zoom? There we go.
So,
I'll just bring it to you.
No. It's just, I'll be there in a second. But I was going to say, we should tell them where we're going because the people that we're going for.
I have no idea where we're going.
Okay, well, what we're doing it for, because they're friends of our channel.
Well, yes, but I don't know what and I'll say the wrong thing. So our friends, Steve and Joanne, are both very, very involved in the Rotary, the local Rotary organization. And tonight is a installation dinner, installing Steve as...
Regional governor.
Okay, I was going to say Grand High Poobah, but regional governor, that's it. And they invited us as their guests, which we are happy.
Oh, and speaking of thank yous, thank you, Hank Miner, for your nice little donation.
Yes.
For our mac and cheese video.
Now that was a redo. And it's funny, we just did mac and cheese and then you wanted to do fettuccine Alfredo. Well, thank you. Should I bring this to you, dear?
I'll come up.
Okay.
We've been watching the Flintstones too much. That's what it is.
So I'm sure later, if Steve and Joanne are watching, I'm going to hear it, but that's all right. They'll get a kick out of it.
Wait a minute. I'm coming up to have pasta.
Yeah, you got to have wine.
I gotta have red wine. Come on now. All right, let's do this.
Okay.
All right, so nice and good. Who can be messier than others?
That's really good.
I would like a little bit of finishing cheese. Maybe.
You really don't need it. It's right here, dear.
There we go.
Even with a little thin sauce, because I screwed up the pasta water, it's really good. It's cheesy. And the starch in this makes it creamy without adding a lot of dairy. So you have the butter that gives richness and emulsifies it together. And then you have the natural starches from the pasta to make it creamy. And real Parmigiano Reggiano gives it all that flavor. Right?
Hold on, let me push another button here.
Okay. Can I use some other shape pasta with Alfredo sauce? Absolutely. I am not a big fan always of spaghetti or linguine or fettuccine, long slurpy noodles. I really like some of the more interesting shapes. You know, the bow ties, the wagon wheels, the pennes, the regatta. There's so many. There's like 300 plus shapes out there. So yeah, you absolutely can. And you could add it. Someone asked about the different flavors of pasta earlier. You could try it with some of those too, you know, and do the same technique.
All right, this next one's going to be interesting because because of the fact we're so close to Philadelphia. And the South Philly Italians kind of rule.
Yeah, no, then they're going to be coming for me for this, but oh well.
And look, it's from Tony.
Okay, let me answer your question.
Take a sip first.
Let me answer your question with a question. And if you don't live in New Jersey, you're not going to get this, but some of you might. All right, Tony, is it pork roll or is it Taylor ham? I'm not going to answer. I'm not going to say if it's sauce or gravy. Nope.
Other than that, gravy is only South Philadelphia. I agree. There's no such thing as too much cheese.
Well, you know. But in real life, if you did this, it's a little thin, let it rest longer. It will thicken up. It's already...
Hold on, let me get over there.
Yeah.
There you go.
You can see it's already thickening up, getting creamy. So don't panic, let it go. You can put the heat on a little bit and evaporate some of the water, but not too much because you don't want to burn anything. But the whole point of that is, don't panic. Just fix it, just, you know. My husband Darren said the same thing, cheese, cheese, cheese. Yeah, well, you know, but there's also a practical limit.
Especially at the cost of Parmigiano Reggiano.
If our son were watching, he would be saying, cheese is good.
All right, Hank's starting the battle. All right, we got a request here.
Okay. Oh, kitties update. Kitties are fine.
Maxwell's sleeping over here.
Yeah, Maxwell, the one who came in from outside almost 2 years ago now. Is contentedly over on the couch. You can't see him, but he's over there sound asleep. We've only seen Salem and Preston since we've been home, but they're fine. Salem's our old man. He's going to be 15. He's starting to look it, you know.
He's a big cat.
Well, yeah, but he's losing weight now. He's getting old. But they're all fine. I'm sure Cabot will come out, but yeah, they're all good. And
All right.
though I have a little funny story. You know, when we go away every week, I always leave one of the cats in charge. And this week, it's just our funny little thing, but this week I left Preston in charge. And I said, Preston, you know what to do. Guard the house and keep your brothers in line. No parties. That's the only rule. Okay, so today we got home and he was like, I'm the goodest boy, and we had a nice weekend and blah, blah, blah.
Find?
But honestly, the litter box has told a different story. There's no way that these cats could have made that much in the litter box in just 2 days. I think they had a party.
What about the cards all over the house?
Yeah, and our business cards for LCTV were scattered all around. So I don't know what they were doing. Them and their friends. Maybe they're trying to drum up business for us. I don't know, but yeah.
All right, let's talk about what the next live stream is going to be,
yeah.
because it's going to be fun.
So I made this outline, and I didn't even get to use it. So what's coming up next? The next live stream is another What's for Dinner, Dad? What's for dinner, Mom? It's all about shepherd's pie. We're going to talk about what is shepherd's pie versus cottage pie. What's the history behind it, and why is it so delicious? And we're going to make one on air. Some other episodes coming up. You know, it's summertime. I want to get into some of this fresh produce that is suddenly abundant, as it always is. So we're going to talk Cherries Jubilee. We're going to be making a tomato tart with some of those fresh Jersey tomatoes, and which is not a pizza. We have some roasted and or grilled corn coming up with some compound butters. Yeah, and our son stopped in to feed them too, and they were good as gold. So the party must have been that night after he left. Blueberries are also coming up in season, and you will shush, and you will bring me blueberries from Hamilton, or I will call Loretta. Anyway, his boss's wife, whose name is on the front door. Zucchini bread, yeah. I am working on a recipe. I found a few online. I'm tweaking. Hold on to your hats for a blueberry martini. Yeah, if you could see Phil's face right now, his eyes are bucking out. He's horrified, but I think it'll be good.
Again, you're talking to classic martini and Manhattan drinkers.
Yeah, but you got to use the flavors that are available to you, and you got to mix it up once in a while.
So I am the bartender of the family. As a matter of fact, at our seasonal campground every Saturday, we have an open cocktail hour. It's about 75 to 100 people, and I make all the drinks by hand.
That's true.
Except
the Cosmos.
We have 100 martini glasses.
Except the Cosmos.
Camping.
Except the Cosmos. And let me ask you this. What did you drink when we first met? Only beer. Who introduced you to martinis in Manhattan? Just saying.
I have no idea.
And what's funny is, our recipes are always based on ratios. He makes a better martini. I make the better Manhattan. Same recipe. I don't know. All right, I think we're about wrapping up. Plus, we need to get a move on and go change and get prettied up. And so that's what's coming up. And for our live stream, we will see you in 2 weeks. So thank you for joining us.
Let's give everybody credit.
Yep.
And to our supporters, Brad and Brian, Carol, Joe and Peggy, Robin, Hank Miner, Megan, Rode Microphones, and this is everyone who commented in chat today.
It's awesome. Thank you for joining us.
And we'll see